Tropicana Resort and Casino on the most famous corner of the Las Vegas Strip features luxurious rooms and suites, award-winning entertainment and dining, 3 swimming pools, and exciting casino action. Book today at www.tropicanalv.com. And we welcome you back to the Tropicana Resort Casino. This is the Poker Dome, where poker is suddenly a spectator sport. New spectators will be watching head-to-head competition now between Chris Stocks and Robert Brown. Here are the heads-up play rules. No limit pre and post flops. Something different than it was before, of course. Every player now will get an additional 30-second time extension. That is 1 per player per heads-up play. The chip count right now, 182,000 for Chris Stocks, 118,000 for Robert Brown. As we said earlier, don't be deceived by that difference of 64,000 chips.
Robert Brown really benefits from the rule change because he had already used his timeout extension. Basically, he's getting a freebie. And he's also benefiting from these low blinds, only 2 and 4,000. What that means practically, Barry, is that Robert Brown doesn't need to take on
15.
the big stack Chris Stocks unless he really wants to.
Comparable hands here, but Chris Stocks, for the first time really in this competition, is not in a situation where he could just bully over people.
I like that Stocks raised right off the bat, though. There, he is letting Brown know that this is not going to be a bingo match. Let's see who can hit flops. It's going to cost you a price to see the flop.
Calls 4,000.
Once again, Stocks with a queen 4.
Raise.
And he's going to raise it up again. Tell you, Stocks, for being a self-professed inexperienced player, is not playing like an inexperienced player.
Playing
12,000 more to call.
Brown showed a lot of weakness, just smooth calling there.
Call.
Now he says he's going to call with a 10 deuce suited.
He is an underdog, as you see.
Block.
Brown does have the button that will help him get to act last.
Not much help.
20.
And that's a pure bluff there from Stocks. He does have the best hand, but he surely can't think Queen High is the monster at this point.
And Brown will get out of the way. So Stocks again. Well, just as I say he can't bully people, he has bullied.
Yeah, he's done everything right. Now, we should note that when it's heads up, the small blind has the button and acts first. There were Stocks, and he chose to fold that hand. After the flop, the button gets to act last for the rest of the hand. That's really a big advantage, and I think it's a big advantage to get to act first before the flop, because you can continually put pressure on that big blind. Brown heads up A6 is a very big hand.
Flop.
To the flop. There's a pair for Stocks, but Brown gets top pair. Oh, look at that.
Now look, Brown needs to maximize value here. Stocks has got to love his hand. With 2 aces on the board, it makes it very unlikely that his opponent has an ace, particularly since Brown didn't raise before the flop. And Brown nicely checks the flop, showing no strength whatsoever, and it's going to earn dividends here. Stocks is going to take a stab at this.
10,000 total.
Brown checks his cards.
Yeah, playing this nicely.
He could just call here, Barry. And he asked for time extension. Nice move here. We know Brown has every intention of playing this hand, but he's giving the appearance of somebody who's racked with doubts.
All in.
He says all in.
Well, that all-in move is sort of going to expose the power of his hand.
I think so.
I would have liked to have seen Brown just call there. There's no flush draw out there, and it's a very unlikely straight draw. But he doesn't know how weak Stocks is here, and I think he's happy to. Oh, and Stocks is asking for a time extension too. Look at these heart rates. Both of them normally in the low 90s. Brown spiking up around 150. Stocks up about 140. This is what the dome does to you psychologically and physically.
I've got to think he'll get out of the way here, but what do I know?
Well, those 2 aces on the flop.
I don't like down the best hand.
He lets it go.
Thought
Wisely
he
so.
laid down the best hand. When he sees this broadcast, he will pat himself on the back for a tremendous fold. And Robert Brown is back in the match.